Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this 40-gallon electric water heater behind me. Now, at the end of this video, what you're going to see is what a professional install looks like, at least here in the province of British Columbia. I'm going to upgrade the piping to 3/4. I'm going to strap the tank in and also put in a pan drain, so everything here is to modern code. Alright, so this is our water heater. So our valve is on the cold. These are both 1/2-inch lines. This one is hot. We have our vacuum breaker. Every bend we have here, we are losing flow due to frictional loss. So you want to minimize your bends. And then here you have 2 lines that supply the laundry and then the powder room in this room. So for the time being, I'm going to put this stuff back together, and then later on when I'm ready, we're going to eliminate this and then we're going to reroute the piping. But since I can't do the entire job today in one day, I can't leave these people without water. So what we'll do now is material and tools. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do is start out with our material list. So I have my Pecs tray, I have clips, rings, fittings, everything that I need to do water pipe. We have our vacuum breaker, I've got other clips, I got my 3-inch number 8 screws for backing in case I need it, adapters, I have 1/2-inch copper, I have a thermal expansion ball valve. This is 3/4. I've got screws. This is our pan drain. This is our earthquake straps, or what we call seismic. And then here, this is our water heater. So this is a 40-gallon ream. This one has a 9-year warranty. This is, I would say, middle of the road water heater. I'm fairly happy with this one. I think it was worth the extra money. So guys, this is what I think I need for this job. So what I'll do now is the tools list. Alright guys, this is our tools list. So I have my finishing kit, I have my rapid wrenches, copper cutters, wrenches, flux solder. I have a grinder. For safety equipment, guys, we're going to be soldering, so we need water on hand. Earplugs, glasses. I have a 4-foot level. My cordless kit, so Sawzall cordless drill. It has the impact inside as well. I have bits here. I have more bits here. This is drill bits. I have the skill saw in case I need it. Guys, crimpers. I've got 1/2 and 3/4 regular, and then this is 1/2 and 3/4 of close quarters in case I need them. We have hand tools here, and then we have the B tank here, as well as the light that is shining right now. Guys, this is what I think I need to do this job. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do is shut off our power. So our breaker is right here. We have hot water. So we have 20 amp breaker that is connected together. So we'll flip that off. That kills power off to our tank. I'm going to take this plate off. And while I'm disconnecting the power, what I'm going to do is we're going to connect a hose to here. We're going to run it outside. And then we are going to start draining out the tank. Now, a tank like this is probably going to take something like an hour to do. So we're going to do other things in the meantime. So guys, we have a cover down here. This is our lower element. Cover up here. This is our upper element. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do is shut off the tank. So we're going to shut our cold off here. Our tank is now off. And now, I've already connected the hose. So you just connect the hose to the bottom and then you open it. Alright guys, I went outside to make sure that the tank is draining. It is. I didn't notice any vibration through the hose, but the tank is off. It's draining out. Guys, to break the airlock with your tank, open your T&P like that, and then that's going to allow air to come into the tank, and now the tank is going to slowly drain out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the power. Guys, the key thing here is put on safety glasses just in case something sparks. You don't get anything into your eye. Alright guys, so we have our wires. Our black here, this is hot. Our red that comes off the tank to our white, this is neutral. And then the green is ground. So guys, when you're disconnecting your tank, you want to always do the hot first. When you're reconnecting your tank, you want to do the hot last. That way, in case there's something that happens, any power will go through the neutral wire. But what we'll do is we'll take apart our Morettes. And then what I'll do is I'll take apart everything else. And then we'll come back. Alright guys, this is what we want. So put a Morette over your hot. Put one over your neutral, just as good habit. So the tank is now draining out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut our lines up here and here. And then I'm going to put a cap on it. Once the cap is on, then I can continue on. The reason that I'm doing this is because I'm sure that this thing is not holding tight, and I want these people to still have water while I'm doing this job. But guys, if you only cap off your cold, if you use a faucet, your cold will cross over into your hot and then it'll start coming out of here. So that's why you need to cap off both at the same time. Alright guys, so I got the cutters here. I've got a bucket underneath. I went upstairs and I turned just the hot side on. I opened the hot side to bring air into the system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this and then I'm going to cap it. Once this is done, I'm going to cut the rear one. I'm going to cap that one also. I expect to see some water coming out of this when I cut the lines open. Alright guys, I cut it on. I put my shark bite cap on there. What I'll do is, because I don't care about the piping here because it's all going to get thrown out anyway, I'll bend that out of the way, push on, we'll pull off, and then we are done. Our tank is now disconnected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this stuff out, and then we're going to get the tank out of here. Alright guys, I'm going to use the grinder to cut the lines here and disconnect everything. Again, let's put in earplugs, wear glasses. Alright, we'll take our lines out. So this is now all garbage. And now I'm going to have to wait until the tank finishes draining out. Alright guys, you can see the cutout of where the previous tank was. So from the side of this stud to my pencil mark, this is the space I have to go. They cut a hole, I guess that was for the TMP, but it just goes into the crawl space, so it was never piped to anything. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, looking at the space we have, let's go make another mark there. So put the pan into the corner, and then the hole needs to be somewhere in this area. Alright, so I'm perfectly fine with that. It's up tight to the wall. So what we'll do is we'll make a mark, and then I'll grab the hole saw and then drill a hole. Alright guys, so our hole is right there. So this is an 1 7/8" hole saw. We're just going to put the feeder bit where we want it. We're going to be on low gear. Alright, so if I do this correctly, the hole should line up. And as you can see, the hole lines up. So what I'll do now is I'll solder in the tailpiece. Alright guys, so I got my brass tailpiece inside the pan. Clean up the pan with the emery cloth, sand it down, put flux. Guys, this is just like soldering anything else. But be careful about not going too crazy with the heat, because the pan is only, what, a 1/16 of an inch thick, so it's going to heat up very quickly. Alright guys, we'll take a quick look. A bead all the way around, it looks good to me. Alright, so what I'm going to do is wipe it up. I'm going to put the pan in place, and then I'm going to do the seismic straps. Alright guys, so what you want to do is you want to figure out where you want to put your straps. So I think 21 is where I'm going to put the lower strap. And then 43 is where I'm going to put the top strap. Guys, always put your seismic in first before you put the tank into position, because you're going to have a heck of a time trying to get it in after. Alright guys, so this is my one mark, this is my other mark for my seismic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screw in. So the screw is on the drill. Guys, I would suggest using the very first or the last hole. Make the strap as long as possible, just so you have a little bit of play if you need it. And I noticed that I got my pencil mark there where my water pipe is, so we'll have to go a little bit higher. Alright guys, same thing for the bottom. Alright guys, so you see the two straps. I'll get the other two done right now on my own, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, so we're going to put our straps on. So our bracket looks like that. We're going to fold the strap in behind the bracket so it looks nice. Okay, that works. I'm going to say leave around 3 inches. So I think I'm going to put that right there at the very end. Once again, we'll fold it over. Alright, we put our washer on. We put our nut. And then I use a ratchet wrench. Okay guys, give it a shake. There's still play. Okay, that's better. Alright guys, so I'll do the bottom one, and then once that's all done, we'll start on the piping. Alright guys, that's our tank strapped in. I wanted this to line up right over the hole, but I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to drip into the pan, but that wasn't what I wanted it to do. But it's strapped in now, so what we're going to do is we're going to start on our plumbing, and this should be pretty quick because there's no soldering involved. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is start off with our thermal expansion valve. So guys, you notice the arrow? So that goes the direction of flow, so it's going to sit like this. So guys, keep in mind, the tank, the cold is on the right, just like any other fixture. So we're going to have the valve a little bit further back. Alright guys, next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our Pecs by FIP adapter. So we need to Teflon the end. So guys, this does matter which way that you put it on. You want it to go with the threads. So if you're looking at the very end like this, you want to go clockwise with the tape. That way when you tighten it on, it'll tighten the tape on. And guys, with the white tape, wrap it 6 times. That's what I was always taught. That'll stop the water from coming out. So we'll grab our big crescent wrench. Guys, don't use water pipes on these. It's visible. People are gonna see it, so we don't want to mangle it. Alright, so we have our Pecs by threaded adapter on. What we'll do is we'll crimp on our 3/4 pipe. Alright, so guys, I will do the hot right now and then we'll come back. Alright guys, so our cold comes from in behind, comes over, we have our vacuum breaker, 3/4 down in, and then our hot actually is a direct shot out. So guys, this will be a lot better for flow. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pipe this in, down into our drain there, and I'm going to start filling up the tank. Guys, I would suggest you always fill your tank up before you hook up your power to it, or your gas for that matter. You never want to fire up a tank when it's empty. Alright guys, our tank is filling. It's going to take a while because it's 180 liters. So what I'll do is I'll start connecting the power. Alright guys, the plate looks exactly the same, so we're just going to use the old plate. Alright, if you guys remember earlier, what I said was you're going to do the neutral first, and then you do the hot last. Alright guys, so our plate is on. So what I'm going to do is I'll do the thermal expansion now. This is still going to take a little while to fill up. But in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll start cleaning up. And then when the tank is all full, we will come back. Alright guys, our tank is filling up. So take note, this is our thermal expansion valve. Because I went straight into the pan drain, I drilled a series of holes. So the idea of the holes is this is to eliminate a cross connection. This is the equivalent of an air gap. So you see how this is above the lip of the pan? This is an air gap, so it is not possible to have a cross connection. So if there's ever a blockage down and then we have a cross connection or a siphonage or some type of condition, these holes will break the airlock. And I've done this on site many times. The inspectors don't have a problem with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the tank on, and we need to finish filling it. So guys, as you're filling your tank, open your T&P. And when your T&P, when water starts coming out of the bottom, that means your tank is full. Another thing that you can do is you can also open a faucet or two somewhere else in the house and vento the air that way. Alright guys, so this is the tank. It's all done now. Everything's been turned back on. Everything looks good. You can see how much neater the piping is now than it was before. Vacuum breaker's on. Seismic in. So what I'll do now is cost and time. Alright guys, so that concludes this job. So guys, unfortunately in this case, the room is so small that I had a problem trying to show you guys without getting in the way of the camera. But it's the first water heater on the channel. I will have more as they come up, so it's not a big deal. But guys, I have shown you what a water heater install here in BC looks like. This is what modern code is. The cost of this job, so the water heater, the pan, fittings, and everything, was about $900. Oddly enough, the tank has gone up again a week after I bought it. The time on this job, I'm going to say the time was about 9 hours. I think typically a water heater is usually about a 6-hour job. It takes an hour and a half just to drain the thing out alone. So, I mean, if you can start draining it out early, that's going to save you some time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope something here is going to help you do a water heater when you need to go ahead and do that. Guys, until next time, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.